People delay having children, as you know, for lots of reasons. School, professional job, they want to get established, they travel, this and that. Oops, I forgot to have a baby. But then they realize they want to do that. And so we're able to help the vast majority of people who come into see an infertility center such as ours. There were attempts in the 1800s to produce an IVF baby, obviously unsuccessful. And when we think about what happened putting a man on the moon, that's extraordinary. But when I think about what went into producing the first test tube baby, it makes the moon landing pale by comparison. Finally, in 1978 in England, they were able to do that. The first IVF baby in the United States occurred in 1982. But they had treated hundreds upon hundreds of women before they were successful. I have a background as a chemist at the National Institutes of Health doing cancer research. From there, I went to medical school, but I decided to go into OBGYN. One of my professors said to me at that time, Michael, you ought to go into this, and I think this is going to be huge. So I looked into it, and my father convinced me to do it. He said, oh, just 2 more years of training. Pop, I've been in school for 30-some years. 2 years is nothing. So I went ahead and did the additional training. So I was able to get in at the very groundwork of in vitro fertilization. So fertility drugs came along where we would stimulate the ovaries of a patient to get many, many eggs. We would produce many, many embryos, and then we would transfer a lot of embryos in order to hopefully get one baby. Fast forward to where we are now, if you do that, you end up with Octomom. In the early 80s, we used to take patients to the operating room in the hospital to collect their eggs using a laparoscopy. Now we do it in the office, no surgery. And it takes about 10 minutes to collect the eggs. She recovers for about 30, 40 minutes, and then she goes home. Do whatever you want. Today, when we transfer a single embryo, we expect over a 50% pregnancy rate. Actually, we expect over a 50% live birth rate. The biggest cause of reproductive failure is that the embryo is genetically abnormal. We can now safely biopsy a human embryo and test the chromosomes to make sure the chromosomes are genetically normal before we put the embryo back into the patient. We know with 99% certainty that the embryo is genetically normal. That tremendously increases the chances for pregnancy, tremendously reduces the miscarriage rate, and with 99% certainty, we can tell that lady that her baby is genetically normal. It's just huge. If we are able to take a drop of media out of the culture, we can test it without touching the embryo. It would be a very simple test, cost-effective, and perhaps we can apply this to everybody. In the month of January, we had 41 pregnancies out of 49 patients that we transferred with a single embryo. So things have progressed so much, it makes it more fun to be a doctor these days. You know, the best part about my job is I work with people. And the patients, the staff, these are people who care, they're totally committed, they're passionate about their work, and it's all for a good cause. You know, I've been in the infertility field for over 30 years and probably have produced somewhere around 7,000-8,000+ babies by now. It's been tremendous. You know, I go out, let's say, for dinner or to the mall, and often somebody will come up to me and they'll say, hey, I'm one of your IVF babies. I'm one of your success stories. It's a great feeling. Great feeling.